This?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we folded our paper into 4 separate boxes. Put your name at the top if you haven't already. All right. And in box 1, you're going to be sketching out like the weird face. I don't know if you might remember it from last year. Can y'all see the board very well, or do you want me to turn the light off? Like, can you see my name? Okay. Let me pause this. Okay. So box 1, we're going to sketch out. Let's actually just do a dotted line that goes all the way top to bottom, but it is going to take up a lot of that box. And then side to side. Alright, so a lot of times when an artist draws a face, they will start with a circle in the middle and then kind of tweak it. So we can eventually get to that point. There's just different ways to do it. Alright, so if you remember from last year, what was a good way to tell how far apart my eyes were going to be? Viva, you remember? Okay, good. So you measure your eye, how far apart your eye is, and then you move it to the middle between your eyes, and that's how far apart your eyes are. So they're an eye apart. So right here in the middle, I'm going to draw kind of a simple little football shape to represent an eye. So right now I have like a cyclops. And then I'm going to have 2 more on both sides. And there shouldn't be space between, because the space between is the eye, the imaginary eye.
1 second. Are there only 3 eyes?
Yeah, so it's like a weird 3 eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, but we know this one's not real. It's just kind of a placeholder to make sure I keep my eyes apart. These, we're going to put the colored part of the eye in. Do y'all remember what that's called?
The iris?
Good, it's the iris. And then what's the little black dot in the middle called?
The pupil.
Good. So that way we know these 2 are real. That one's just a placeholder.
Okay, hold on. Draw the iris.
All right, and then from the, like where the eyes are all meeting, I'm gonna have little dotted lines that looks like they're crying a little bit coming down. And then from the pupil, same thing, dotted lines, more crying, very sad person. All right, so this isn't like super accurate, but a good way to figure out how long the nose needs to be. Do y'all remember what I did last year? Okay, so if you put your thumb on the outside of your eye and then put your pointer finger right in between your eyes and then turn it, and that's about how long your nose is. It's not perfect, but it's the only way I can kind of at least get a close measurement.
Eye like this to your nose.
But lower, you bring it down this way.
I know, if you take your eye to your nose.
It's probably going to be a little short. All right, so if you measure this person's from the outside of their eye to right in the middle, and then turn it, I'm going to put a tiny little creepy smile right there. All right, so that's actually going to be the bottom of the nose. These 2 lines right here are kind of the guide for your nose, because the outside of your nose kind of lines up with the inside of your eyes. It's hard to tell because I have a mask on. You can take my word for it. All right, and then on the outsides, I'm going to do 2 more of these little smiles, but they're going to be kind of curved a little bit, like kind of tilted. So another smile, but it's curved a little bit. So again, this isn't a perfect nose, but it's just a good marker for a nose goes here.
Okay, I'm going to bring my nose up to my eye.
Mine looks like a nose.
All right, and then what do you think is going to fit between these 2 dotted lines?
Mouth.
Good, the mouth. And when a person's face is relaxed, which normally I'm gonna have you, well, in the beginning I'll have you draw faces that are relaxed, because when you smile, it changes your face a little bit, okay? Like, you can tell when somebody's smiling through their mask how. Because their eyes squint, their cheeks raise a little bit, okay, so it makes your face move a little bit. So normally we start with relaxed face. So your face, we're gonna start connecting those lines with kind of straight, kind of, mine's somewhat curved down. Most people aren't like relaxed and constantly smiling. Oh, and then the measurement between the bottom of the nose and the top of the mouth is about top to bottom of your eye, which is really hard to measure, but again, that's like the closest thing I could find. And my mouth is actually probably gonna be a little bit low. All right, and then I'm going to draw a simple mouth for now, again, just to say there's a mouth, just don't make the lips huge. So I'm going to put a little V shape right here, right above my little line, and then connect it to the outside.
I'm erasing my line.
No, leave them, because this is like a note-taking thing. Because I want you to see, you can reference this page again, so you know, oh, I got to leave my space between my eyes. My nose should fit between these lines. My lips should fit between these lines. Okay, and then just a simple little curve for the bottom lip.
It looks like super soft.
We're actually just gonna,
Okay, y'all gotta remember to raise your hand. All right, for eyebrows, I'm just gonna draw kind of a simple arch. You don't want them like sitting right on top of the eye. You want to leave a little bit of space, okay? And everybody's are different, so if you were looking at a person, you'd pay attention to where their eyebrows are placed. But leave a little bit of a space, and they usually go longer than the eye, okay? So it goes out further and ends out further. The part closest to the nose is usually thicker, and then it usually thins out. Again, I'm sure y'all have seen people with crazy eyebrows, so it's not always the case, but that's just a general rule.
I think I always mess up with the hair.
Okay, does anybody remember how big to make the forehead? Good, okay? So you measure the nose, so right between the eyes and the bottom of the nose, and then place that above the forehead. This is one of the most common mistakes, is putting the forehead, or not having a forehead at all, and starting your hair on here. So that one's really important to have that forehead. And remember, your hair will start here. This is not the top of my head. This is like if I had,
Scalp.
yeah. So if I had hair, it could be like coming out like this. But it's going to continue up here. So the top of my head is further up. Okay, so I could extend that. All right, let's draw the jawline first, because now it's going to look really confusing. All right, for your chin, who can think of a good measurement, good way to measure how long your chin is? And again, everybody's got different chins, but yes.
The length of your chin to your eye.
But we need to know how far from the bottom of your lip to the bottom of your chin. Is it an eye apart? Mine's pretty close.
Yeah.
Anybody else? You got something? Nose is way too long.
Your cheekbone.
But we want to draw the cheekbones, so we got nothing to measure on my paper. Okay, so let's see what happens if I measure this person's eye, go to the bottom. That looks pretty good. So I could imagine, you don't have to draw this, it's going to look like there's a weird goatee, but an eye could technically kind of fit right there, because you want to make sure they have an eye. And then you curve the chin around, and then once you get about even with the lips, you're going to want to straighten it out, and it will be pretty close to the side of the eyes. Okay, sometimes people put their side of the face like way over here. Okay, you want them pretty close to the eyebrows. Yeah, this is going to be kind of a creepy face with all these lines, and we haven't added real detail.
Okay, now I'm gonna go up to the hairline. Oh wait, no, we're doing a giant ear. Okay.
For ears, I don't go into super detail with the ears, but from the bottom of the nose, and again, this is rough. Some people's are lower, higher. From the bottom of the nose to where the eye line is, roughly right there, you can have just like a little curved line. That's about where your eyes are. All right, so again, this is where your hair is starting up here. So if you have bangs, it could be coming down in front of your face, but it's still starting up there.
I want to put bangs on
Another thing is make sure you don't draw hair right under the chin unless you're drawing a beard. Leave space for the neck. Okay, we can't see through the neck. Okay, and then same thing with if you had boys' hair. There's just so many different types of ways to do boy hair, but
Your forehead is very big. And I have a big as a triangle.
all right, and this would probably actually be a little bit further over. Oh, I have no eraser on there. Sorry, this line's gonna have to stay there. All right, does anybody have any questions on this crazy looking face?
I'm putting a bangs on. Hold on.
Okay. All right, so we're going to stop here for today. We're going to be filling in the rest of these boxes this week, and then we'll probably move on to the back too. So don't flip it over and free draw on the back. Save
I
it.
messed up on the back, so I flipped it over.
Okay.
No bangs.